folks. Welcome to Morning Buzz Coffee Hang. Tonight we've got Ed Sculthorpe, owner of Birchway Sound in Hamilton, Ontario. Welcome, Ed. How you doing?
How you doing?
Ed?
Coffee?
Oh, let's get that shot.
So this is going to be
right.
This is the first one.
This is the first one.
I'm honored. That's fantastic.
Thanks for coming, buddy. This is great. What a great view behind you. Look at that.
I've been a guinea pig for the coffee for quite some time. Frank's been feeding it, and I haven't slept a wink. So I'm running on whatever it's in. I believe it's Sting.
That is Sting. That's a dark roast. Yeah.
It is extraordinary.
Fantastic.
And I dig the reusable containers.
That's awesome. Where do we get that on a regular basis? Well, once we get a storefront, then for sure we got to do that.
Yeah, that's a
phase. That's future Morning Buzz happening now. Post-COVID Morning Buzz. Post-COVID.
Post-vid.
So we've got again, as I said, Ed Sculthorpe here. He's the proud owner of Birchway Sound in Hamilton, Ontario. Ed, my first question to you is going to be confusing because when I say Ed, it's Ed, our guest.
Yeah, right.
So,
hey, you're going to have to point at me. Where am I on your screen, by the way?
Here.
Oh, you're there. Okay, so where are you, Ed? Where am I to you, Ed? It's like I could look. I'm looking down at you.
Hey, Macarena.
You can almost pour coffee into Ed's cup right here.
Go ahead, please.
Yes.
We got to do that, actually. That's great.
That would be a really good effect if you could do that. Anyways, well, you jumped the gun on this one. Have you ever had Morning Buzz coffee? So you've tried our coffee, and I know that because yes, you were my guinea pig for trying our different blends, and it was kind of, if it met Ed's approval to me, it was like, well, that's a big jump because I know how much he loves his coffee, and so we wanted to get there. But
we've actually had a coffee conversation once, Ed. I don't know if you remember. We were all having French press. Yeah, well, we were playing
Casbah.
Casbah. Yeah, so it's funny how we were talking coffee back then.
Yeah. We had a good conversation about the French press etiquette.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Hey, it's important.
Yeah.
Well, we discussed that one on our coffee school on our website, and on the or not on the website, on the one of our first posts of Coffee School 101 that you can find on Mondays on our social media. We discuss how to have a perfect French press. So I think that sort of went from that point.
Yeah.
How you doing there, buddy? Like it's COVID-19 is. I haven't seen you for a while, so
it's bizarre. Yeah. It's a strange thing. I'm doing okay. Myself, my family are doing all right. My youngest boy's going a little stir crazy, as they do.
Yeah.
He wants to go outside and turn over rocks and climb trees. I hope he wants to do.
Yeah, right.
But for the most part, we're doing okay.
Yeah. Ed, what do you do at Birchway Sound? Could you tell us a bit about what you got going on there? We'd love to hear that from you.
Thanks. Yeah, it's an all Canadian made music shop or guitar store primarily. Yeah. So everything I have here, everything you see in the background here is all Canadian made guitars, effect pedals, amps, straps, some artwork, custom pedal boards, all Canadian made. It's all world class stuff.
Yeah.
Really incredible what we've got going on in Canada as far as builders and creators and innovators in the music industry. So it's a great thing to be able to have a storefront for them to have their product in, because it's really difficult for a lot of them to get into stores.
So Frank, I know Frank teaches at your shop when it's open. I've actually been in your shop. It's absolutely gorgeous. If that's like that room, like guitar room, is that where you're in right now? Like upstairs?
Yeah, I'm in the front room, the retail space.
Yeah, beautiful.
The room right above us is where Frank teaches out of. It sounds really great acoustically. There's a drum kit in there. You'll be happy to know.
Cool.
Canadian-made drum kit up there.
What kind?
U-drum.
Okay, I have a U drum here. Yeah, great.
Yeah. Oh, it's incredible. Yeah, really sounds so good. So that's up there. Great little space. So yeah, it's a fun place to come to work every day. That's for sure.
Yeah. So COVID, how did COVID affect the studio and stuff like that? Obviously, closed the doors, but maybe talk a bit about that.
Yeah, it closed the doors retail wise. I do a lot of repairs to instruments as well. So I've always got a backlog of stuff. I'm sort of in perpetual at least 3 week backlog of repairs to instruments. Mm-hmm. So when I had to close the doors, I wasn't too concerned because I have 3 weeks worth of work here. I haven't really been taking on any new projects. I'm kind of optimistically seeing this as a blessing in disguise to sort of hit the reset button and tidy up a few dark corners that need to be tidied up business wise. Yeah. So when I get through the backlog of repair work and get those back to the clients, then I'll just work on business development type stuff, much like you guys are doing. Yeah. And and still, occasionally I'll sell something online through the Reverb store as well. So that helps out.
Great.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fantastic. I know personally, I've purchased one of the guitars that you carry in there, a Gillard. Fantastic builder out of Hamilton. And I got my eyeballs, and I'm gonna make sure that Kim is not watching this particular episode at all, because I got my eyeballs on another guitar.
Who's Kim?
Kim is my wife.
Ah.
Better known around here as the Minister of Finance, and she carries the baseball bat.
This one here.
Yes, that's the one. That's the one. That's a Frederick. He's a local builder.
Right there beside him. I love it.
Well, you can tell him about the Frederick, and you can tell him about the Gillard as well too. So you can talk about a couple of your guitars you got in there, because I like the guitars you carry.
Yeah. Well, the Gillard guitars. Gillard is a fantastic young builder here in Hamilton. Really innovative, very creative, talented builder. He's doing a lot of fan fret models, which are very popular right now. He uses a lot of sustainable woods and sustainable finishes. Really love his design work and his approach to building guitars. We worked on a great project last year to commemorate Sonic Onion's 25th anniversary. So we built a limited edition run of 25 guitars for that, using rendered wood from a major building renovation that they did downtown. So that was a great project to work on.
Yeah.
And Gillard did an amazing job on those guitars. And we were able to raise $15,000 for an instrument for every child, which is a great charity or organization here in town that keeps music in schools and runs after school music programs for kids, which is crucial in my mind. Huge. So we raise a substantial amount for them, which was really great. So last year was a good year around here along those lines. Mm-hmm. So that's some of the things that we've been working with Gillard guitars. Frederick Guitars is fairly new. They really broke ground last year. An amazing builder. He's really focusing on doing one thing really, really well, and variations that you can do within that one thing. He's got a wonderful design and a great process and great work ethic. And he's an expert finisher. He's done some beautiful finishes on guitars, and his guitars are kind of like Ernie Ball in quality and feel. They're really wonderful instruments.
They just that one feels fantastic when you play it. It's just the way it sits, the way it does that is just. That's why I'm looking at it, coveting it, and soon to be mine.
You're not the only one. They're really popular guitars.
Yeah. Andrew Aldridge has one, I believe, right? Does he?
That's right. Yeah, he had one custom ordered. That's right. Yeah. I can't wait to see it on stage. I'm looking forward to seeing some live music, so we can see some of these on stage again.
Right.
It's going to be a while. Well, I know with COVID, it's we are well. This would normally probably be happening in your store upstairs around that table.
Yeah.
With a couple of opposed to.
Maybe in a year's time we can revisit this here in the shop. That'd be great.
I was just
we want to do them all again and full circle. Yeah.
Why
not?
Yeah. The post-COVID.
That's it.
The post-COVID sessions. Talk to everybody we talk to in person. And say, I don't like you anymore. Right? No, that's fantastic, Ed. Outside of music, and I know you do that charitable work that you did with Instrument for Every Child. Anything else that you're keeping passion-wise?
I'm involved with a veterans organization here in town. I'm a veteran, a military veteran.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of my passions. Is I do a lot of work for veterans.
And thank you for that service, brother. Thank you for that service. Seriously, that's huge. That's huge for us, man.
Yeah. So that's what I'm passionate about, and I'm also involved with an entrepreneur organization specifically for veterans. So that's pretty exciting to work on. There's some absolutely jaw-dropping talent among Canadian veterans that have started up their own businesses or their own hobby ventures. There's some phenomenal craftsmen and really creative business people in the veteran community. So if you want a shameless plug, it's by veteran.
Absolutely.
100%. We'll even have the little link going by here.
Absolutely. The link's down below, and at the end of the video, you'll be able to see it.
There you go. Here.
Yes.
Yeah.
I gotta kind of tie two things together here, sir. You're talking about the instruments for kids, and then now we're talking about the veterans associations. A friend of mine, one of my best friends, Ron Allison, who's an ex-Canadian military vet, or is a vet, drummer. We met in college playing drums. He got involved with an organization that got guitars in the hands of vets to help with mental health and all that. What do you know about that? And is that something you're involved with at all? I mean, being in the guitar world.
First of all, I was of the understanding that the military wouldn't let drummers in, so I'm a little confused.
Well, we hid. We came in as bell players and clarinetists.
A closet drummer the entire time.
I'm out.
Players.
That's amazing.
I am aware of that, Ed. Yeah, that's a great organization.
What's happening here? What's happening there? Sorry, man. Over to you, Ed.
Well, I had to play that. It was just too rich.
You had to, yeah.
I think they're based out east, aren't they? Guitars for Vets.
Right. So he used to live in Ottawa. Now he's back in Alberta. But yeah, so he was involved with it out east when he was in the Ottawa area. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I am aware of them. There's a number of different veterans organizations that are doing that. Using music as a tool for veterans, and they're all wonderful organizations.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I think you told me about when you were stationed in Bosnia, or in a number of your stations, just having the guitars around, even there'd be the campfire players and just jamming out.
Sure.
On down.
It takes you somewhere else, So if you don't have that, everybody needs a hobby, sort of thing. Mm-hmm. There were other guys that did other things. There was a guy that did leather work. He would just sit in his room and just do leather work the entire time. Mm-hmm. There were other people that one guy was a writer. He was constantly writing all the time. I don't know what he was writing, but he was constantly. But you need, with everything, it's not exclusive to service, but just in life in general, you need an outlet. You need something that gives you solace, that just takes you away from whatever's occupying your mind for a little while. And for me, it was a guitar.
And especially now, like in the COVID-19 pandemic, people are having to reach for those things, whether it be they're reading more or, you know, I heard an interview on CBC Radio talking about the guy's like, oh, I got GarageBand and guitars in my basement, so I'm doing that. Anything to just focus the mind, right? You know, release the stress, release the worry, release the anxiety.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and just and like I said, it just takes you somewhere. It takes you outdoors. It takes you down dark places. It takes you to lighter places. It catapults you to a place that you're not currently in. You know, so it's wonderful to sort of get out without getting out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, and it's like Ed says, Ed Mortensen there at Alberta said, yeah, it's important, especially in this time with COVID. It's just this COVID crisis is it's like a reset button, as you said, Ed. Like we have to sort of, you know, what are the plans that, you know, you wanted to do? They've been having to be put on hold. Much like what we were doing, it was like, oh, we're going to launch a coffee company. At the start of social distancing and all this, we have the benefit of not having a brick and mortar. Which, for the longest time, that was a detriment to us, not having brick and mortar. But now, it's almost like a godsend in disguise that we don't have to concentrate on worrying about that. We can worry about getting some more product out there, getting people who we are. We really wanted to get in the community. As you know, I've done a lot of that kind of stuff in Hamilton, and Ed wanted to get in there doing in the community, and we went into Unison Benevolent Fund. So by giving some portions. So I know you like doing that work with Instrument for Every Child. That's another fantastic organization. But to get you outside of that, what's is there something that you're watching, book you're reading?
Yeah. Great question.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Ed at Birchway Sound is the best gift giver in the world. Just so you know that. You know,
I've heard these things like bacon cakes and baconators and like just bacon. I'm loving this, man. This is.
Oh, we'll bring up bacon.
You got to tell the bacon cake story though, man. Seriously.
We're going to have a whole other discussion just on bacon.
Oh, clearly.
It's called Bacon Hang. Coffee.
Bacon Hang.
Slash the coffee out of there. Coffee and bacon hang. Because coffee and bacon go hand in hand.
That would be a funny one. But yeah, let's do that for sure.
Yeah.
What are you watching these days, buddy? What are you watching in your COVID isolation days?
I don't watch a lot when I'm at home. Usually I'll just watch late night news and then I'll go to bed. Usually depressed, so I should probably stop doing that. But yeah, usually when I watch stuff, it's here when I'm working on the bench. I have my computer on the workbench, and I can binge Netflix on there. So I just finished watching season 3 of Ozark.
Oh yeah,
that was really gripping. I really loved that. That was a great show.
Yeah.
But yeah, stuff like that. Whatever. I haven't watched the Tiger King. I don't think I will. I don't think I can.
I have.
I don't want to know. It's like watching a train wreck.
Yeah. It's entertaining. Remember Jerry Springer?
Yeah.
Remember the days of Jerry Springer?
I could never do a full episode of that.
Yeah,
It's only, it's kind of like watching Dumb and Dumber. The movie Dumb and Dumber.
Well, it's funny how when I was watching, I was getting angry as it was going. Like every episode, I'd get more angry at these people. Like, really? Yeah. Like, these people exist? But anyway, that's my own opinion. I better not.
only watch a bumbling idiot bumble around being a bumbling idiot.
Right.
So long,
Yeah.
And for it doesn't last an episode.
Yeah.
So I don't suffer fools well, so they don't get a single episode out of me.
Right.
Let alone a whole season.
Ozark, I loved Peaky Blinders. That was an amazing show.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that one. Yeah.
Yeah, really terrific show. Yeah, stuff like that. Music documentaries. I've probably watched them all.
Yeah. You watched ZZ Top one? Is that I haven't seen the ZZ Top one yet.
Yeah, the ZZ Top one was great. The one I really was the one about Twisted Sister.
Oh,
I had no idea what those guys went through, man, before they broke, before they finally,
Right.
got out of wherever they were, New Jersey, I think they were in. Man, what those guys did, what they went through, holy smoke! What
Gene Snyder was like an entrepreneur. He's a huge entrepreneur. He's like Gene Simmons in that way, but just not the same. Not the same level. But I mean, what a smart dude.
Oh my God! Yeah, just really amazing documentary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's that one called?
I thought it's Stay Hungry. Is that right?
Stay Hungry?
Twister?
Yeah.
I can't remember what the documentary was called. I don't even know if it's
called that. It could be called that.
Stay
Hungry. Like, come on. These guys have been hungry for a long time.
Yeah, worth looking up, though. An amazing story. Even if you're not of the band, just the story is amazing.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's a good one. What do you? What would you say your top 3 Isolation records are, man? What are you listening to?
And notice how records, not just songs.
Records.
Yeah. Well, good for that. Because we need to listen to records more and singles as much anymore.
Yeah.
I'm a classic rock guy, so pick a classic rock album, put it on. I'm good. I'm happy.
Yeah.
I think Frank, we were talking the other day about some Jeff Beck albums.
Yeah.
That's what Truth is one of my favorite albums, and not only for the band, which is just incredible, but Rod Stewart. It's Rod Stewart as a rock vocalist in his prime.
He's like 20 years old.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he's so good.
So good.
So that whole album is just killer.
Yeah. Well, look at Faces. Some of that Faces stuff, I was like, because I didn't know about Faces and stuff like that. Like, and I knew about Rod. About him first, and then I found Faces. I was like, what are you talking about? This isn't all the Maggie stuff and polished. This was raw, raw talent. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's great stuff. One record I recently discovered, rediscovered, is Band on the Run.
Yeah.
Yes, I should have wore that.
It's so good. It's so good, and
was in that band?
Because a lot of the songs on there are about sort of breaking out and isolation and loneliness and stuff like that. Yeah. But you want to talk about drumming, Ed? That's all Paul McCartney on that album.
Are you kidding? I did not know that.
McCartney and
wow, what a
Paul McCartney, the drummer, is one badass.
Absolutely. You can say that one, brother.
You can say anything you want. This is
look at why, look who he has playing for him now. Abe Libero Jr., right? Like that's his guy. That has been his guy forever. And there's a reason why a guy that like Paul McCartney that can play bass and drums and that well needs a guy like Abe Libero Jr. to even be able to respect behind him. You know what I mean? Like you need a Gad, you need an Abe Libero Jr. You need a guy like that you got me back there. You know what I mean? And he found his guy for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Band on the Run is a terrific album because it really solidified him as the prolific musician that he is.
Right. Yeah.
He still had the what's the word I'm looking for? He still had the stigma associated with the Beatles, right? And
absolutely.
Anything that everybody knew that Lennon and McCartney were great and prolific.
Yeah.
But he had solidified himself. His solo stuff, I think, after that or up until then, people were saying, he's just trying to prove something. And with that, and excuse me, his drummer and guitar player quit before the record was recorded, so he had to do it all himself. And
Lenny Kravitz,
it just established him as that was his personally, maybe speculating, but in my opinion, that's what launched his solo career was that.
Now is that a Wings album or just a Paul McCartney record? I can't remember.
It's Paul McCartney and Wings, yeah.
Yeah, and they collaborated. He let the guys in the band write So there's some great songwriting through Wings that it's not Paul McCartney. Like, it's just a terrific band.
Yeah. That's a classic album and worth giving a listen to for sure. I recently rediscovered it. I just love that album.
I'm putting that on the list. Like after this, I got to listen to it.
That's exactly.
Listen to the drum. It's so damn good. It's so
I really
good.
love, guys, that we keep going back to this drum talk. I'm just going to put that out there. I really like this. It makes me feel comfortable in this hang. Just saying.
Listen, as a guitar player, my whole thing is if that backbeat is solid, makes my job easy.
I've said it. I've said it for a long time. I'm a guitar player as well. It's the only instrument I know, and I'm no whiz bang guitar player. I'm a rhythm guy. I don't really play with enough other people to call myself a solid guitar player. But anytime if I walk into a bar and there's a cover band playing Brown Eyed Girl or something, the usual things we all hate to hear.
Yeah.
I focus in on the drums. If the drums are good, then I'll go to the bar and order a beer.
Yeah, you build from there for sure.
But man, if the drums are mediocre, I don't care how good the rest of the band is. I know it sounds terrible to say.
Right.
Oh, the other guys can be virtuosos. If you don't have that, it's not worth listening to.
I agree. Like I've walked out of many places. So let me tell you that I've not walked into many places because you hear the drums from the street.
Yeah. And the lovely thing of having Ed on drums is you're not going to walk out when Ed's drumming. It's one of those.
You're not.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Draw you in, buddy. It's
Much appreciated, brother. Thank you.
Say that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I wish I could say the same thing about you, but if you had a bad drummer, then you wouldn't get noticed. Is that what we're saying here?
Yeah.
Frank, you are.
I do recall a gig, and I took a lot of heat for this one, and it wasn't because of the playing. I did say, well, if it wasn't for me on that stage doing the show, there wouldn't have been a show.
Oh, yeah.
You and Waylon.
But that is a guitar player thing, right?
It was just because, but you guys were, I know how important you are to the show, but there was a static nothing going on in front, and if I wasn't there doing something, it would have been just.
So Ed, this is where the explanation comes back again. Like it's like he really needs to get this point home. I don't know why he's bringing it up now, but it's like whatever makes you sleep good at night, Frank. Look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me.
Ed knows I'm far from one of those. But anyway,
if only drummers had a spare leg that they can put up on a monitor and get some attention. That would really they'd take the place of the guitar player. I think.
That's it.
It's usually 20 years down the road they become a singer-songwriter. That's what they do. Always there's a lot of them on Facebook right now. And
man, is there ever?
It's like, yeah, maybe not.
I have a few guitars in my studio, and when the students come in and they'll come in for lessons, drum lessons, lesson 2, 3, or whatever, they'll be like, "Oh, so you also play guitar? Don't look at that corner. Don't look at that corner. I play drums. I might own guitars, but I play drums."
Right. But I forgot to bring this up earlier though. I can't remember. I know your early days of Birchway because you operated out of your basement for the first. I can't remember what client I was, but I was pretty close to early client of yours, I think.
Yeah, you were one of my very first clients for sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I know you touched on doing work, but I just want to let everybody watching this that Ed's my guy, man. Like and he knows I bring in a lot of beat up guitars after 2-3 weeks on the road, and I'm like, I'm going out tomorrow, Ed, on a flight. I need this guy, and then he'll go in and tweak it up, and they sing phenomenally. They feel great in my hand. It's a pleasure having Ed work.
It's a fun thing to be able to do for sure.
True master.
Get it out.
I don't know about that, but I'm just good at the smoke and mirrors, maybe.
Also a sign of a true master.
Yeah, well, yes, it's all in the it's all true. I didn't do anything to your guitar. You just thought it was better now.
I saved the
Placebo.
So let's talk about coffee. We haven't talked about coffee yet.
Well, that
Right.
why
Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh, guitar. Oh yeah, that's it.
Oh yeah. What are we doing here? Guitar
we
hang.
do have coffee. Yes. So you're a dark roast guy that you've been drinking the Sting.
Yeah.
So what
So
do you
it's-
think about it? What's your
I love it. I'm the only coffee drinker in my house, which is perfect because I get more, which is great.
right? Yeah.
And it also means it's usually my fault when it runs out, so that's not so great.
Right.
And I do run out, but yeah, I use an espresso machine because usually it's just me drinking it. So I'll do a long pour espresso, and I'll fill this cup. It's not a mug, it's a cup, but through an espresso machine, that's a pretty good coffee. And I guess you could call it an Americano.
Mm-hmm.
So I have an espresso machine at the shop and at home.
Nice.
And that's what I use. And as you know, espresso is a method of making coffee. It's not necessarily a cup of bean.
Thank you for saying that, sir. Yeah.
So dark roast is great for that. But most dark roasts, I find, they have a really terrible aftertaste. I like dark roast because they're really chocolatey and very nutty.
Mm-hmm.
But the aftertaste is
Burnt. Almost, right?
It lingers as an extraordinarily bitter.
Yeah.
And this one isn't. I really like this one a lot. It's got a nice, smooth, very clean aftertaste to it, but it has all the chocolatey and nutty richness to it that I really like. And I'm not just saying that. Honestly.
Yeah.
That's absolute truth. I love it. It's really great. You guys nailed it.
Well, and that's the thing, Frank and I thank you for that, Ed.
E-transfer on its way.
But Frank and I, at the beginning, we were saying, we want to build a brand, we want to build a community, we want to build something fun and exciting. But if it didn't have the quality of the product in the bag, then what's the point? Because we are coffee lovers first, and we love every coffee.
Right, it's not worth it. Yeah.
For sure.
I want to ask you, what are you on a newer automated espresso machine, or are you on an old school espresso machine?
There's automated espresso machines.
Oh, the new ones now. You can't get. It's harder to get the old ones where you do it all yourself. The manual ones, they do it all. So they're finding that the newer machines, it has to take more of a medium to dark roast, a little less oily, because these new automated machines are getting gummed up with all the
right.
oils. So
a lot of that is in the trap itself, right? Because some of the whole, I've had to take unfortunately I'm a technical guy, so I know how to take things apart and put them back together. I have had to take my I don't know what you call it, but I call it a trap, coffee trap. We put the coffee in.
Yeah.
But I've had to take that apart a number of times and clean it. The ones I have now, if you buy a decent quality one, you're fine. If you buy sort of an entry level espresso machine, chances are you're going to get pretty annoyed with it.
Yeah.
After 50 pours.
Don't buy Canadian Tire is what we're saying.
Yeah. It's definitely
anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely in the maintenance too. Keeping it clean is like any kind of tool. If you keep it running, it's going to get.
If you're a French press person, you have to take the screen off and unscrew it and clean it all properly.
Mm-hmm.
Once every few days. So it's the same thing. You have to maintain to enjoy it properly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you're right. Some of the screens at the bottom of the coffee traps they're so fine. They're so incredibly fine, and I think it's very, very important. I think it's probably more important to grind the coffee correctly than to select a less oily coffee.
Mm-hmm.
So if you had a coarser grind, then there's less chance of any coffee fiber, the beans getting trapped in the.
With the new machines, they tend to all have their own hoppers, and that's the part, the delivering and the milling of it into like internally is where it's getting gunged up and yeah.
That's be fancy.
Yeah, because we are investigating in a more lighter medium espresso roast and a dark one for the different machines that we have. So if you got a newer machine, we'll say, well, you want to maybe go to the lighter end of an espresso roast, because we both know that an espresso roast it's the type of coffee you're putting in your espresso machine. Espresso is just the method of extraction. But that's a down the post-COVID era for us.
Yeah.
So thinking
or
of
maybe
that,
not
post-COVID, or maybe you never. Well, we don't know how long this is going to be. But Birchway and yourself, looking down the road, looking at all. I know you're going to catch some backlog up out of there. I've probably got a couple guitars that might get dropped off soon enough for some work. A couple of Ed's guitars.
I was going to say I got a couple coming your way too, buddy.
But after this is, we're all let out of the cage and safely let out of the cage. Start, for Ed and I, it's feeding the coffee community and about getting out there and performing live. For yourself, what does the end of COVID-19 kind of mean to you? We're out and kicking the kids out of the house again too, but those things. What does that mean?
One of the first things I'm going to do is go to the pub and order a pint. That's what, but I kind
pint of choice, Ed. What's the pint of choice?
Pint of choice?
Yeah.
I like an English ale. I'm an Englishman, heritage-wise, anyway. I like a good English ale or a good English bitter. Yeah,
awesome. Great.
That's what. But or just a good beer.
Yeah.
Just
beer.
Just I'm dying for one. But
you can't tell.
Yeah, we got to make a delivery of something for him.
I think I'm just gonna try to get back to doing what I do. To try and as business owners, you're constantly just trying to keep moving forward and upward and just do things a little bit better than you were doing before.
Yeah.
And it's a long game. There's no instant gratification to it at all. You have to think, a year ahead, 3 years ahead. Yeah. There's nothing immediate is going to happen out of that. It's just good, solid, steady work.
Yeah.
Keeping at it, and it's the grind, right? So I'm just going to get back to the grind.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
Yeah. Hold on. Hey, but don't change.
But
a little bit that far.
Yeah. You need one of those. You need to have a snare and a crash beside you to do that for future.
It will happen immediately. That will absolutely be added to my variety of things that's around me.
That's right. Little toys and all that. I gotta plug my amp in over here. And
for now, this is the trick. Oh,
that worked.
Yeah.
It worked. It did it.
It's good for all the bad jokes, which there's a lot of.
Well, hey, if you can't have a couple bad jokes, what can't you have, right?
That's right.
Actually,
Awesome,
exactly.
man. So where would people find you, brother? Where do they go to online?
Online, I'm at birchwaysound.ca. You can find me on Facebook. If you just search Birchway Sound on Facebook, I'm there. Facebook.com/BirchwaySound. And on Instagram at Birchway Sound.
Over there.
I'm on all those. Whatever your social media poison is, I'm there.
And you got a fantastic logo. It's a very boom. As soon as you see it, if you saw the beginning of you showing up to this, it was the logo right. So I love the tree with the instrument. So look for the Birchway Sound logo. It's fantastic. And again, So you carry, you got the guitars we were talking about, and you mentioned you touched a little bit on pedals.
Yeah.
Going back in a bit here, so there are all some fantastic Canadian built pedals that I carry in my pedal board made by Maple Rock Pedal Boards, another custom pedal board builder you have.
Yeah.
Carry as well. So all those guys, we'll drop all the websites if you'd like for anyone, or just to go through you to get them, however you want us to do that. We like promoting local, we like promoting Hamilton, we like promoting Canadian, and we like helping out our Canadian fellas out there as much as we can. And our
For sure.
But any final thoughts you've got there, Ed, at Sculthorpe?
Not really. I'm very grateful. Thanks for having me on, guys. It's always fun to chat with you guys. It's great to see you. And best of luck. You've got a great product. I like your logo too. It looks really cool.
Right on. Thanks, man.
Let's get that another.
Yes.
So
hey,
what
brother,
I
listen, just for me.
I've only had one of these, so I'm going to actually crawl inside this jar now.
Oh, smell it.
And the other thing too that I noticed that a friend of mine pointed out to me is you can eat these. They're actually pretty good.
Oh yeah. We have to cover them in chocolate and.
It doesn't punch in the face or anything. These covered in chocolate would be.
Christmas.
I'd be for days.
Wait, Jill did something. Jill being Ed's significant other.
Yeah, my wife did. She did a chocolate covered version of it. Yeah, and they were unbelievable. So
a caramel
and a caramel one. Yep.
Oh, there's something
just fantastic.
You're going to go into the candy business now too.
One step at a time here, I think. Eh.
Great.
Hey, man, I got to thank you. Thank you for being such a supporter of Canadian products and Canada, man. We like you. We wear those badges. Oh, make sure we wear those badges, man. It's nice to support local and support our own people, because we have a huge pool of talented people in this country that we need to draw from.
Really is important to do.
Yeah,
it fits us all for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I think if anything that COVID shows is that we really need to become more self-sufficient as a country for everything.
Yeah.
We need to start making more of things here. We have the ability. We've proven that. Yeah. Just need to do it on a bigger scale now again, and want to invest in our country instead of somewhere else. Nice to visit somewhere. Let's keep.
We've got that already. There's a tremendous amount of manufacturing capability here. It's not quite to industrial scale as it once was, but there's still a lot of independent shops, and especially with the advent of new technologies, 3D printing, CNC laser cutting and stuff like that. The ability to manufacture is a lot easier now and a lot more cost friendly to entrepreneurs, to new ventures. So switching to a more of a manufacturing economy is a little easier to do than you don't need to purchase a foundry and things like that to smelt steel to produce your product, as like you would have had to have done 50 years ago. Yeah. There's technology that allows you to produce that product much easier and ecologically better as well. So it's out there. There's lots of independent companies in the manufacturing sector that are doing amazing work and producing amazing products, and that want to grow and want to expand. So we're right on the cusp of doing that anyway.
Awesome. All right, folks, that was Coffee Hang once again, and thank you to Ed Sculthorpe at Birchway.
Ed Sculthorpe.
Thank you to Ed, my partner over there. He's on that side. Am I getting the pointing right this time?
I'm over on the other side, buddy.
Okay. All right. All right. Check us out at morningbuzzcoffee.buzz. Look for us on social media, Facebook and Instagram, and we will be seeing you next week.
Indeed. And don't forget, Birchway Sound.
.ca.
And
Right.
thanks, Ed. You're awesome, dude. What an inspiration.
Frank, really appreciate it.
Take care. Thank you so much, Ed.
Take care, guys.
Take care, brother.